What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Full 90. I hope you all had a fantastic Christmas. I want to give a massive shout out to all of you for the support on the previous Premier League predictions video. It's actually my most liked video of all time on the channel. You all dropped a like to say Merry Christmas. We got over 350 likes, which is awesome. So smash a like on this video. Let's try and get close to that. I don't expect we can beat the Christmas cheer on this video, but smash a like if you're excited for the Week 20 predictions of the Premier League. And also I want to give a shout out to the Dugout Football channel who left their predictions and a Merry Christmas wish on the previous video. So if you want to get into the next Premier League predictions video, then drop your predictions down in the comments below for what you think is going to happen in the Week 20 fixtures of the Premier League, and they are coming thick and fast. I'm having to record this video on the 27th of December, the day you're watching this, in the morning, and obviously Wolves and Man City are playing from week 19 tonight, so I won't have that result in this video. So let's have a little look back and see how I did for my Boxing Day predictions. And to be fair, it wasn't a bad day. It wasn't the worst day for predictions for the full 90, because kicking it off, we had Tottenham versus Brighton, and I correctly predicted that they would win 2-1. So there was one of the correct score predictions there. Aston Villa v Norwich, I predicted Aston Villa would win by 1 goal. I just thought there would be 4 more goals in the game. I predicted a 3-2. It was a 1-0 win. Bournemouth Arsenal, I predicted a 3-1 win to Arsenal, and I think if Arsenal took their chances, that scoreline looked likely. It looked like it could have happened, but it was a 1-1 draw in the end, so not the worst, not the best. Chelsea Southampton, the big shock of the day, I predicted a 3-1 win to Chelsea, and Southampton played really, really well. Their second goal was like Barcelona watching them. It was ridiculous. They won 2-0 against Chelsea, so Chelsea up and down. You never know what's going to happen with them. Crystal Palace West Ham, I almost got it right, but a late goal from, I believe it's Jordan Ayew. I'm not entirely sure on that one. Late goal saw Crystal Palace win 2-1. I predicted a 1-1 draw. Everton Burnley, I predicted that Everton would keep a clean sheet. That is something that I specifically said, although I thought Everton would win 2-0. They won 1-0. Sheffield United Watford was a prediction I'm very proud of, because a lot of people they thought that I was only giving Watford credit and giving them the draw because of the hype of them beating Manchester United. A lot of people thought Sheffield United would walk this game. I predicted a 1-1 draw, and that is exactly how it ended, so I'm happy with that one. Man United Newcastle, I predicted they get back to winning ways with a 2-0 win. It was a 4-1 win after the little shock of going down 1-0 once again to Matty Longstaff, but they soon enough turned that around, as I predicted they would get the win at Old Trafford. And Leicester v Liverpool, quite a few people said Liverpool wouldn't get the 3 points in this game. I didn't say it would be as clear cut as this. I said it should be easy enough for Liverpool if they play like we know they can, and they did. They won 4-0, but I predicted a 2-1 win to Liverpool, given that they'd just done a lot of travelling. They might not have been up mentally as up for the game as they physically possibly could have been, but that didn't matter. As far as I'm concerned, that's the title gone pretty much. But yes, those were the results that I predicted that I know of. I predicted a high-scoring 3-2 win to Man City, which kicks off at the time of uploading in just under 2 hours. So I don't know how that would go. Maybe a 2-1 win to Man City would have been better, but a really good week in all honesty. Just a few results incorrect, and really the only one that was a bit of a stinker was the Chelsea game, but I don't think anyone predicted Southampton to pull that one out the bag. So moving on, we have the Week 20 fixtures starting tomorrow on the 28th of December and continuing on to the Sunday. Kicking off, we have Brighton up against Bournemouth. Now, Brighton, they were, I guess, not unlucky to lose to Tottenham, because Tottenham did also have a disallowed goal that was very, very fine margins. I think in the end, the better team deserved to win, but that doesn't mean that Brighton didn't put up a good show. And Bournemouth, they got a good point from Arsenal. I think they'd be happy with that point. They didn't get the 3 points that they did against Chelsea, but to get 4 out of 6 from Arsenal and Chelsea is pretty good going. I think going away, though, is not Bournemouth's strong point. Similarly for Brighton, so given that Brighton are the home team in this clash of teams that don't travel very well, I'm going to give Brighton the edge, and I'm going to say they're going to get a 2-1 win in this fixture. Now, the next game is Newcastle up against Everton. Now, I like what Everton are doing. I've said that they would be on an upward trajectory going into the new year. That has come to pass. They're winning games. They're playing well. However, this prediction is not based on gut, because if I put my gut feeling into it, I say Everton would win. But I thought to myself, hang on, let's not jump the gun. Let's not go too much on instinct. Let's have a look at the statistics. And Newcastle have only lost 1 game at home in the Premier League. And that was, would you believe it, against Arsenal back in August. Since then, they are unbeaten at St. James's Park, including the likes of Man City, Man United. They haven't lost at St. James's Park in the Premier League since they lost to Arsenal on the first game week. So given that, and given that Everton tend to perform a little bit better at home, I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. Err on the side of caution. As I said, I do feel like my gut feeling is just telling me that Everton will win because they are a better team on paper, but I'm going to go for home form in this one, 1-1. The next game is Southampton up against Crystal Palace once again. I think home form will play a big part in this one. I'm going to sneeze. But yeah, Southampton played very, very well against Chelsea, and they played well against Aston Villa as well. I believe Danny Ings was rested for the game against Chelsea. Certainly, I didn't see him in the highlights, and I think they mentioned that he was being rested. And so I think he'll be playing in this game, which would be great for them at home. I think they'll have enough to beat Crystal Palace. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Southampton. Now, the next game is Watford up against Aston Villa, and again, I like Watford. I said I don't think they're going to get relegated. I've been saying it the whole season, even when they were way behind. I still think they're going to claw out of the relegation zone, and it's already starting. They've now leapfrogged Norwich, and Aston Villa, they're looking a little bit shaky. They did beat Norwich themselves. They did deserve the win, but I think Watford are going to get a home win in this fixture, and I think it's going to be high scoring. And I thought to myself, let's have a look at the stats once again, and the last two meetings in the Premier League between Watford and Aston Villa, both home and away, have ended in a 3-2 win to Watford, and that backed up my instinct of a higher scoring Watford win. So I'm going to go for a third time in a row, 3-2 home win to Watford. The next game is Norwich up against Tottenham. Tottenham looking a little bit shaky. They're getting these clinical wins now, beating Brighton by 1 goal at home. Brighton scoring first, giving them a bit of a scare, and Brighton doing very, very well in that game, to be honest, pushing Tottenham all the way to the end. So I do think that Tottenham are going to concede. They haven't really been keeping clean sheets under Mourinho, and I think they are going to concede again here, but they should have the quality to get the win. I'm going to go for a 3-1 away win to Norwich. To Tottenham. I'm going to go for a 3-1 away win to Tottenham. The next game, West Ham up against Leicester, and I believe, if I remember correctly, West Ham actually took the lead against Crystal Palace and then threw it away. So something wrong with West Ham. They're just not clicking. Pellegrini's got to be on the chopping block the next, ready to go, probably into the new year. I don't know when. And Leicester, I think really the last couple of weeks against Man City and against Liverpool showed the real golfing class. Not to say Leicester are terrible. I think Leicester deservedly are second, and if Manchester City beat Wolves third, they'll be deservedly in that place in the league based on how ruthless they've been with all the other teams. But Liverpool and Man City, Liverpool in particular, are a cut above Leicester still, and I think that gap in quality was shown in full glory, both in the game against Manchester City and Liverpool. But I think Leicester is still a fantastic team, and I think they're looking good for a top 4 finish. I'm going to go for a 2-0 away win to Leicester. They'll be thankful to be playing a team like West Ham after some very difficult games, and they're going to want to get back to winning ways here, just to keep that gap between them and the rest of the pack in 4th and below. So I think Leicester are going to get the win here. The next game is Burnley up against Manchester United, and this is going to be a very, very close game, in my opinion. Man United had a good day out, Boxing Day, beating Newcastle 4-1. Burnley conceding a late goal thanks to Dominic Calvert-Lewin losing to Everton. I think this is going to be a very, very low scoring game, and traditionally at Turf Moor, Burnley and Man United, they are very low scoring games. However, Burnley have towards the start of the season, they'd kind of adapted the way they were playing. They were scoring more goals, but in the last few weeks, they've been sort of turning back into the Burnley of old. Whether they're winning or losing, it's low scoring and quite close, and I'm going to go for the same here. Man United don't travel particularly well, but I'm going to go for a 1-0 win to Manchester United in this fixture. I think it's going to be low scoring and close, and I think it's going to be maybe a second half goal for Man United to get the win here in this one. The next game, Sunday the 29th of December, Arsenal up against Chelsea, and I looked at the record, and in the Premier League at the Emirates, Arsenal have a fairly decent record against Chelsea. Similarly, in the Premier League at Stamford Bridge, Chelsea have a good record against Arsenal. It seems that home form really comes into this fixture, and I just don't know anything could happen in this game. Arsenal, good luck predicting their scores. As I've said in previous videos, for the last season, 2018 to 2019, Arsenal were the team I correctly predicted the score of the most. This season, they're not really that close to the top. It's so hard to predict Arsenal games, and even harder still, Chelsea. They beat Tottenham 2-0, and then either side of it, they lose to Southampton, Bournemouth, West Ham. Well, the Everton game I understood. I got that, to be honest. But the others, it absolutely baffles me. So I have no idea where this is going to go. It could be a 0-0. It could be a 4-4. I don't know what's going to happen. But given those two I just said, I'm going to go smack bang in the middle. Like I said, typically Arsenal have better form at home against Chelsea, but they're in shaky form at the moment. So I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw between Arsenal and Chelsea. The next game is Liverpool up against Wolves. So as we know, well, we don't know the Manchester City and Wolves result. I think Wolves are going to give a good account of themselves, but they're going to come just short against the reigning champions. Liverpool, they're running riots, and I think they're just going to, it's almost like, I think they're just going to continue almost as if the full-time whistle never blew against Leicester, and they're going to continue that form. I'm going to go for them to score 4 goals again, but Wolves to find the back of the net one time, perhaps Adama Traore on a quick break. 2-0 up Liverpool, 2-1 Liverpool, and then Liverpool think, hang on a minute, let's secure this win. 4-1 to Liverpool against Wolves. Now, the next and final game is Manchester City up against Sheffield United. Sheffield United drawing against Watford. I think they did have the better game than Watford, but they couldn't get over the line. Manchester City, again, we don't know, but I'm assuming, predicting at least, that they beat Wolves. And I think this is going to be a lower scoring game as far as Manchester City are concerned. I think Sheffield, because Sheffield are going to go, knowing that it's Man City, aren't going to be quite as attacking, I don't think, as they normally are. They are still very strong defensively, but I think they're going to almost go up another level defensively and try and make it difficult for Man City, and then use the attacking talents they've sort of grown with over the last few seasons to try and hit City when they're least expecting it. Maybe, you know, at the start of the game, at the start of the second half, that sort of thing. So I think they're going to really tighten the screws at the back and try and not get played off the park too quickly like Arsenal did when they played Manchester City. So I'm going to go for a 2-0 win to Man City at the Etihad. So that is going to do it for this week's predictions. Once again, massive thank you to all of you for the support on the channel. And believe it or not, I can't believe I didn't mention this at the beginning of the video. We reached 7,000 subscribers on Christmas Day. I saw the count past the 7,000 subscribers on Christmas Day. I said in the video on Christmas Eve that it looks like we'll hit it by New Year, and then after that Christmas Eve video did so well, the likes, the views, the support, we hit 7,000 subscribers the next day, which is absolutely incredible. So my goal, obviously, I don't know if you guys know this, was to hit 10,000 subscribers before the start of the next season of the Full 90, which will of course be in August, and it looks like we're well on our way to do that. I don't want to jinx anything, but I'm excited. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next Premier League prediction video, which will be on the 30th of December, I think. So yeah, I'll catch you later.